So once we got involved in doing real estate sites, and I had the opportunity to study and work with a bunch of different IDX products, we decided that uh, for the search engine work we wanted to do for our clients, the IDXs that were on the market weren't sufficient for what we wanted to do for our clients. So in 2011, we put money in a hat. We hired a developer, bought a server, plugged it into the wall, and started building our own IDX product, which we launched in 2011. We actually launched our first website as an armless vendor in September of 2011, actually 4 years ago this month, and then started selling our product in November of 2011 once we were ready for it to be sold on the market. Since then, we've just continued to develop, and we have a great IDX product that we use with our clients. We service the Phoenix market, Prescott, Tucson, and Las Vegas, and we're licensed in San Diego. So that's our market. Doesn't mean we can't build websites in other areas. We do have some IDX relationships with other folks that we can basically do IDX work anywhere in the country. But for our product, we're specifically licensed in Phoenix, Prescott, Tucson. Again, those are our Arizona markets. What I'm talking about today, though, whether or not you have our IDX, a lot of the concepts that I'm talking about will apply to your website, which is why you're on the call, is to get a sense of, SEO for real estate. So I'm going to jump into that. Um, the SEO for real estate, in many senses, has, in spite of what you've heard, hasn't changed a great deal in the world of the basics and the basic SEO for what you can do on your website. If you can apply some basic principles, you'll give yourself an opportunity to compete in the search engines for traffic. So you guys are, I don't know if you're new to the game. Anyone, how many of you folks have websites out there? If you could just tap in a couple of your domain names into your screen, so that I can see them. Maybe we can go through them a little bit. Um, Anybody have one you want to offer up so we can use it? Okay, no volunteers, and that's okay. I will have some other. Um, I will have. I wouldn't mind using somebody's website, but I have a few that we can use. Plus, we'll be referring to some of our own websites as we go through the webinar. Okay, so if you have a real estate website, there's basically 5 or 6 specific things that you've got to be able to control on your real estate site. If you can't, it may be time to find a new system to work with. Most company provided real estate sites, the Keller Williams, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, HomeSmart, Remax, all of even West USA, all of those systems have problems one way or another with what they offer, and mostly they're free or very cheap real estate website solutions, which for an entry level, just getting your feet in the water, they're not a bad solution. It's just that they're very limiting what you can do with them. So we're going to cover some of the things you need to be able to change on your real estate site to make it competitive in the search engines. So first of all, I have my mouse up here in the tab of, and you'll see a pop-up box that says Scottsdale Homes Phoenix, um, Real Estate AZ Dean Benino. And I'm not picking on Dean from a sense of, it right or wrong. I'm using this website as an example of things that you need to be able to correct. Every website owner has a purpose for having their website. I don't have any idea why Dean has a website or what his purpose is or what he uses it for. So I'm not, he can be very satisfied with his website. I've never spoken to Dean. It's just a website I found doing a search and have gone through it some, and it brings up things to discuss. But when you come to this website, it looks like it's about Arizona golf properties. Okay. And one of the first things you notice on the homepage when you go up to this title, and I mouse over this title, it says Scottsdale Homes for Sale, Phoenix Real Estate AZ, Dean Benino. Right away, when I look at this from a search engine perspective, it's already missing the boat. So I'm going to show you the source for this page. And what I don't want you to do is think that you guys need to be coders. That's not the point of what I'm doing here. But I am showing you when Google and the search engines come into a website, basically they'll find a website because of a link from another website. That's typically how you get found. Or we send a note to some of the notification services out there that let the search engines know, hey, there's a new website here, or there's a website publishing content. And the notification services will tell the search engines, hey, there's a website here, there's new content, come check it out. We build all of our websites in WordPress, which has a great notification service built right in. A lot of websites don't have that service. So Google comes around when when they feel like it, et cetera. So WordPress has a great notification service built into the system so that every time you do a blog post or a page in WordPress, it sends an outbound notice to the search engines. Hey, there's new content here. Here's the link to it. And it'll come. It gives the search engines an opportunity to come back and find you. So when I look at this website, the title, again, Scottsdale Homes for Sale, and when I view the source, basically this is what the search engines are reading. So they're reading from this line of text all the way down to the bottom. Okay, it's 500 and almost 500 lines of text. Okay, when I go, and what that translates into is the search engines will come in, they'll come down the page and read up and down, and then they go out the page down here, just like we read a book. Okay, the guys who put together Google were both Stanford graduate students, very much into academics, and the way they built the bots that the search engines are all based on is they basically read a page just like we read a page in a book, from upper left to lower right. And this is all the code that makes this page show up in your browser. Again, you guys aren't supposed to be code people, but the point I'm trying to show you is this title. One of the very first things that Google's going to see on any web page / website, websites have web pages in them. Every page on every website is unique. Kind of like the analogy of there's no two snowflakes that are the same. There are no two web pages that are the same either. Okay, that they have the same address here. Okay, what that means is there should be no two titles the same on your website specifically. So when I look at this, I'm thinking this is a real estate website about golf. Okay. Yet when I go here, there's nothing about golf in the title. So for you to be able to control this on every page in your website, you need to be able to change your titles. So if you can't, it may be time to find a new system. Next thing, your description. This one here. Okay, your description is actually a description written about the page. What this guy has done is he's put in keywords. Okay, Scottsdale Real Estate, Phoenix Homes for Sale, AZ Houses, Carefree Realty, Maricopa Properties, Paradise Valley, Fountain Hills. Again, nothing about golf. Okay, yet his website address, again, Arizona Golf Properties right there. That's his web address. And it looks like he's about golf. Yet his homepage very different message to Google. So Google, you could say, is they don't know really what this website is about, especially with the URL and what's being told in the title and the initial description. So I hope that's clear for everybody. The title, which is up here, okay, needs to be aligned with the URL that's on the page, which is found in your address bar, okay, and the specific page on the website. So let's jump into another page on this guy's website. So when I go to About Dean, okay, let's take a look at this page. So I come back here, and when I mouse over the title, I've got new homes for sale, Scottsdale, Phoenix, real estate, carefree property listings, Maricopa, AZ, real estate MLS, or realtor agent MLS, okay? Again, if I look at his code, so how I'm getting that code is I'm just coming in basically off of the website a little bit, and I'm right-clicking my mouse, and I'm going to what's called View Page Source. Internet Explorer, you'll see View Source, things like that. And again, the title here is not really congruent with what I'm supposed to be reading, which is a page about Dean. So this page looks like it's about Dean, okay? But the title of the page, nothing about Dean. A little bit here in the description, Dean Benino. But again, search Scottsdale, Carefree, Phoenix. You know, not really a very strong title. The title should be a description of the page. And basically what he's doing is he's dumping in keywords, which is something that the search engines aren't in favor of if you're trying to just stuff keywords into the description. The description should be about 160 characters, 2 full sentences, if you're taking notes. So roughly 160 characters, which is basically 2 longer sentences. And it's a marketing opportunity to discuss what this specific page is about, okay? So again, not congruent with what I'm expecting. Also, this URL right here doesn't make sense to me that this is tied to this, which is tied to this. So these should all really line up to say this page is about Dean in the title. In the URL here, this should say something about Dean Benino. And then down here, he does have about Dean, okay? But it's incongruent with these other two. So to tighten this up, I would go change this title, go change this page URL, and then go. I would actually put Deneen. You know, this is probably okay to stick with, but the rest of this I would tighten it up so that the SEO is stronger. Okay, so those are some of the key things that you need to be able to do with your company or your personal website. Is can you control the title? Can you control the URL? Can you control this headline? Okay, the headline is very important. And then there, each of these are going to be about, as I've mentioned, this is all about the same page. And this page is basically set up for a keyword. Okay. And when I say keyword, the keyword is the subject matter of the page. So in this case, about Dean Benino would be the keyword. Okay. So does that keyword show up in the title? Does it show up in the URL? Does it show up in this headline? And does it show up in the content of the page? So all of those need to be lined up. So if you're doing, he's saying new homes for sale, Scottsdale, has nothing to do with Dean. This has nothing to do with Dean. This does have to do with Dean, and so does this. So he's got some of it right, but 2 main key indicators of what this page is about aren't set up. So it's likely that the search engines haven't ranked this page very well. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Anybody have any questions on that so far? I'm going to hold up here for a second. No questions. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I do now have a couple of websites to look at. So I'm going to pop a couple of these in our search and in my screen. This is Homes in Pinetop. Let's see what this one looks like. We'll discuss that one. And then I have another one. Okay, so this site, this is actually a WordPress site. And when I look at the title, I mouse over it, Pinetop AZ Real Estate Homes for Sale in Pinetop AZ. And it's, I can tell, we can tell that the title set up Homes in Pinetop, White Mountains, which is up there, which is up in Pinetop. There, when I look at this, I got to get to this paragraph, the third paragraph about Pinetop and Show Low AZ. I would find a way to move this paragraph up here a little higher up on the page. Only because you're making the search engines go all the way down to here to find out anything about Pinetop and Show Low. And just to tighten this up a bit, I would move that up some in the page. And I don't know how this is actually fed in. So it looks like these are blog posts, which is what I'm guessing, and then the welcome. So I would say if you can change this, move this up a paragraph and just flip this around a little bit just to make, because you really want to have your keywords that you're trying to focus on, you want to have them, bam, right into the first paragraph as quickly as you can so that the search engines can see them and tie them together. If you put your keywords later in your content, you're actually saying it's not that important what my keywords are. And that will actually hurt your rankings just a little bit. So you could tighten this up a little bit. And then let's look at this one. So this is Cactus Pine Real Estate. Okay, Cactus Pine. Um, if we look at the title, we're looking at home. So I'm not sure. Norm Furry. This is Paul's website. Paul, you would want to change this title. It says home, because that's definitely lacking some search engine optimization. Home doesn't cover anything, what this website's about, etc. So that's something you should definitely fix. And let's take a quick peek at your source code. And I would say that if I do a search, Control F, I'm going to just search for description. And you're totally missing a description, which is what we were talking about here. This description should have somebody to say about what the website is, at least on the homepage. Well, on the homepage and then other pages. So your search engine optimization here, not as good as it could be. This changed a little bit, but you're looking at like this title, Homes for Sale. You're in Pinedale or Show Low. Okay, so you're going to want to say Show Low Homes for Sale at the very least. Get that into your title and actually change this to say Show Low Homes for Sale, so that you're narrowing the gap. Okay, you do have some alignment here, so it's not terrible. But if you think about it, you're saying homes, land for sale, and my question to you is where? And the search engines are going to go where? Okay, they'll get some indication that it's in Arizona, but you're making them figure that out, and you need to correct that. You really should put in at least Show Low in here, and on this, if you can, put it in here. Okay, because now you want to focus where people, or where you're telling the search engine your business is located. Because right now, homes for sale, you're competing for this keyword anywhere, quite frankly, anywhere in the world. but most, basically in the United States. Okay, so you really do want to correct that to give yourself a fighting chance of showing up for Sherlock Homes for Sale, because right now you don't really have a good shot at it. Okay, I hope that's clear for everybody. Now let's. Hopefully that has sank in with you guys that you want to be able to control this URL, your title, your description, your headline, and then being able to put the same keyword in that place, this place, and in the body of your text on the page. Okay. Um, Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions come in, so I'm going to keep rolling. Now, let's just look at a couple of things about this website still. So Dean's Listings. So when I go to Dean's Listings, okay, if you guys notice, this URL is pretty ugly. One of the things that the search engines want to see is what we call a clean URL. When I go to this website, and let's just drop into Terion, for example. Just see what happens. So the search engine optimization for this page, pretty good. Torion, AZ Real Estate, Pinetop AZ, Torion, and Torion AZ Real Estate. Okay? I don't know if these guys have their own, I don't know if they have their own listings, buyers. Um, they may or may not have their own listings. However, what's good is this URL compared to this URL, you guys can see the big difference, okay? This has nothing to do with Dean's Listings, okay? Versus this website, Torion, 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 and then I have pages coming up, IDX pages coming up in what I guess Torion's a subdivision is what I'm thinking, because this is all showing Sholo. So I'm guessing that this is all in. Well, Torion Homestead, I guess is what that's supposed to do. Yep. So there's your subdivision. So that's that's all lined up. So there's not a lot to change. Maybe on this page, you'd go in and look at what they do for the description. And here, you look at the description, find homes for sale in Torion AZ, easy listing alerts available. I would maybe add something in here, call Tom Clancy, and then put a phone number in your description. Because this description is what shows up in the search engines, okay? So if I go to Google and I do Torion homes for sale, so I come down here and I start looking in for Torion homes for sale, and your guys' website is Homes in Pinetop, okay? If you look, this little section right here, if you give the search engines a description and it lines up with what the content of your page is about, what your page is about, the search engines most likely are going to use your description, okay? So you want to really fill this out. If you notice, this is kind of a marketing piece. Search Torion. You may be able to stick a phone number or a name in here, okay? I don't know how new this page is, Tom, but you'll notice that these descriptions are filled out. Yeah, so that's the idea of putting in your descriptions, is that it gives you some marketing opportunity, and that's what shows up in the in Google's search results is what that description says. So you guys may, there's no reason to change this description. It's pretty good, but you have a little bit more. Again, this is 160 characters. You're probably only using, I don't know, maybe 80 or 90, maybe 100. So you could put a little bit more in here to build this page out, but it's, it's pretty good at this point. Not a lot to change with it. Okay. Now back to this guy's website. What's so, pretty bad about this website? When I click into his first properties, so these are his 4 properties, and one of the reasons to have a good IDX on your website is a good IDX, one that you may hear integrated IDX or indexable IDX. When you click into a property, okay, this property has its own domain name, right? And when I look at this URL is terrible, okay? It will do nothing for getting Dean's properties found in the search engines. Also, when I look at his title, when I come up and look at his title, I see Phoenix AZ 85018 Dean Menino. Terrible title for this specific property. Also, if you noticed, the domain name changed, but this specific content here didn't change. You may not have seen it. I'll go back a page. But that content is basically very similar, if not the same. It's actually the same content, okay, on 4 different pages. So not only is Dean not properly optimized, he's got 4 pages with exactly the same content, and it's pretty awful. Even though here this changed, this part did not. So the way this is set up, Dean's not going to he's not going to perform well in the search engines based on what I'm seeing here. So that's how your website's configured and who put your website together um, makes a big difference. And this is definitely not put together well at all. And again, not knocking Dean. It could be performing or it could be doing exactly what he wants to do with it. But from a demonstration standpoint, it's very far from being a good search optimized website. Okay, next, content. So I'm going to jump out of the structure of a website, for example. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm going to go to this specific website. So this is like I said, a WordPress website. Tom Clancy is on the call today, and it looks to me like it's put together well. Let's jump into his IDX a little bit. And when I go into the IDX, you'll notice that he's got 4610 Hawthorne Road, 4910 West Hawthorne Road. When I look here, I don't have the title matching up. So I'd want to find a way to fix that, okay? Also, this here is not necessarily a good way to end this domain name. So the domain name itself should be, this domain here is good. It's about as long as you want it. Anything over about 60 characters, Google dismisses, but it also dilutes the effectiveness of the first 60 characters. So there's 2 things going. They're not going to pay attention to this, but at the same time, this here, it gets diluted. So it's not necessarily ranking as high as it could. So it is an indexable IDX, which means the listing, when I say indexable IDX or integrated IDX, it means that all the listings that are coming through the IDX or the MLS onto your website are showing up as pages of content, okay? Which is what this is. It's just, it looks like you've pasted these in here through some saved search of some sort, and there may be a different way to plug these listings into your site. You'd have to play with that with your IDX company. Okay, let's talk about content a little bit. So let's go into a discussion about content. So real estate agents, in my experience over the years that I've worked with them, I've talked to a lot of real estate agents, well into the thousands range at this point in my career. And I've heard many realtors complain about various things about websites and maintaining a website and caring for a website and working with a website. And some of the chief complaints are, uh, I don't know what kind of content to put in, or I don't have time to put content in to my website, or I've already written what I want to put into my website, but really it's been, or I don't know how to put the content into my website. All of those apply. And the reason why you're told to put content in your website is, and it's sound advice. It's what Google says. You've got to update your website to keep your website relevant for our visitors. So if you think about Google's job and the search engine's job, it's to deliver the most up-to-date, relevant information to the searcher at the time that they're searching for property or searching the web or searching in Google. So if you think about your website, when's the last time you really touched it? Okay, if it was last year, are you relevant to somebody who's touched their website today or yesterday? And the answer is no, you're not relevant. Okay, that's the interpretation that the search engines make. If you don't update your website regularly, you're not relevant and you'll lose ranking or not be ranked much at all, which is a reason why you may not be getting traffic from your website or business from your website. So it's true, you got to put content in. Where we're in a disagreement, in our opinion, what we say is it matters what kind of content you're putting into your website. And mostly real estate agents have been told to put market stats and home staging tips and financing tips and loan programs and the steps to buying a house and the buyer's summary and all kinds of stuff. Okay, and you've either in many instances, real estate agents have either tried it and it hasn't produced results, so they've concluded it doesn't work or it doesn't matter, or they know somebody who's tried it and for the most part hasn't worked. There have been a few people that are successful. They've been doing it a long time. Their sites have been found. They've got some authority, and yeah, they get traffic. But the norm isn't that way, because either you haven't stuck with it long enough, or you're trying to compete for stuff that people aren't really searching for. If you think about what consumers are searching for online when it comes to real estate, what are they searching for? That's right. I heard somebody, actually I didn't hear anybody, but I heard you guys say they're searching for homes, which is exactly what they're looking for. They're not searching for home staging tips. Okay. Now it's okay to put home staging tips on your website, but don't expect results from it. Okay. That's where I say real estate agents have been duped, is they've been told put this content in, but they haven't been said don't expect results from it. So it doesn't really make sense, right? Put content in, but don't expect results. Well, that's kind of the truth. If you put the wrong content in, you're not going to get results. So what kind of content do you put in? Well, in our opinion, you put content in that's related to what searchers are actually looking for, which is houses, search types, houses that fit their lifestyle, searches that fit their lifestyle, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so in some senses, this is kind of close. When I go to Torion, for example, on this website, they may be searching for Torion AZ real estate. Okay, this is actually in the realm of what consumers would be searching for. They're not searching for home staging tips. Okay, now you may be thinking about Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com and having those, big companies show up in the search engines on just about every search you look at. Well, truth of the matter is, when you go there, they have tons of content about home staging tips and market tips and strategies to buying and selling and all of that. And if you go look, you'll see it. Now, Zillow and Trulia and Realtor, they're brilliant at marketing. Why? Here's why. They've gotten real estate agents and mortgage people writing free content on the website with the hopes of those folks who contribute getting leads out of it. Now, what that does is that content, when a consumer comes to Zillow, you can bet money they're not coming to Zillow to read home staging tips. Why are they going to Zillow? They're going to Zillow to look at houses. Okay. Once they're there and they see something in the periphery, in a sidebar that says, "Hey, home staging tips for Arizona, selling your house in the middle of monsoon season, etc." And they're in the market at that moment in time, they may click on that. Okay. And it's useful or interesting to them, but they didn't show up in Zillow by typing in a search, "how to sell my house during monsoon season in Arizona," and they found a Zillow article. Okay, they're just not showing up that way. They're showing up because of home searches. So if you think about your website, are you putting home searches on your website? Are you putting that content on your website? And mostly the answer for is it an ongoing process? And mostly the answer is no. And mostly it's because you can't, or it's hard, or you've never been told how to do it. So one of the things that we at iFound Agent have done with our system is we've built it so that you can you can use your website. So I'm going to drop into one of our websites, Houses Scottsdale, Arizona. And when I go to this site, I go to our blog post. I'm going to go to our blog. And what we teach our clients is go to, put content in your website that's related to what people are searching for. Scottsdale, Arizona, homes for sale in 85254 for 400,000. Okay, let's go to another page. Scottsdale homes in Laguna San Juan subdivision. Okay, I want to get to a few others. There, Scottsdale homes for sale 8525260 with 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Now, question is, or what we tell our clients is, use your website with your clients who are asking you for searches. Okay, put that kind of content in your website. So all of you guys get asked for searches that you go then stick in your local MLS, and you put those, you put the client's name and phone number and email address in, and then you start sending them out, emails out of the MLS. And while that's a tried and true process, we don't say stop it. What we say is use your website to do the same thing. Okay? Put the same type of search in your website, drop an IDX search on it. So let's click into this for a second. And I have 191 results for 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in Scottsdale. Okay, in that specific area code. Okay, now if a client asks me for that, I can then copy this. I'm going to copy this, and then I can open up an email, drop this URL into an email, and ship it out to my client. Okay, if you guys are using a CRM or a customer relationship management platform, you can set up like Market Leader or Wise Agent or Lion Desk, or there's a bunch of them out there. Drop this in a campaign that you're sending out to your client. Why do you do that? Well, the reason is you're on this call to find out how to get your website to do more work for you. Okay, that's what we're here to teach you. I'm not here to teach you stop using the MLS. What we're here to do is help you learn how to use your website, how to optimize your website, how to get your website working for you. Okay, so if you get people going to your website based on this URL, okay, they'll come to your site in addition to whatever you send them out of the MLS. But let's say they get to your site and they go, "Wow, my realtor set up a search for me in his website or her website for exactly what I was looking for." Okay, now I have the opportunity as the customer of the real estate agent to refer this to a friend of mine. I'm getting your branding in front of me as your customer, okay? Not just the MLS branding, okay? I'm getting your website. So I have a way to forward this. Now, at the same time that I did this, guess what I just did? I stuck in a page that's got a title, Scottsdale Homes for Sale in 85260 with 3 bedrooms. Okay. I also have it in here and I have it in here. So I have, and then here I have 85260 Scottsdale, 3 bedroom, 2 baths in Scottsdale. It's in the first paragraph. Basically, from a search engine perspective, I've hit all the key points while I was working with a customer of mine. I followed the formula, plugged in this, plugged in this, plugged in this, plugged it in here, plugged it into my title, and boom, it's now this page is in the search engines. So I have an opportunity for somebody else looking for Scottsdale Homes for Sale in 85260 with 3 bedroom, 2 baths to find me in the search engines someday down the road, while at the same time I put this in there working with a customer of mine. Okay, so you guys, Tom, you guys should check into your IDX and see if you guys can do this up there. Okay, same with you, Paul. You want to check in and see, can you guys do this with your website? Your site, Paul, older site, you're going to have a tougher time with blogging because I don't think you're set up for. Yeah, you're actually on a GoDaddy. This is a GoDaddy site, so you're going to have a tougher time doing some of this work. Unless you get it rearranged, and you'll need to plug in a blog, posting tool, etc. Okay, you may be on WordPress already. I don't think you're already on WordPress. Yeah, you're not. You're just on one of their product websites, so you're not on WordPress. They do have a WordPress product. Our opinion is GoDaddy's not a great place for WordPress, but that's that's our opinion. So that is a discussion about content. What kind of content? Well, what are people looking for? They're looking for homes to fit their lifestyle. You guys know that. That's what you do on a regular basis working with your clients, okay? Next, Google Analytics. Everybody who's got a website really should have Google Analytics plugged into their site. What does Google Analytics do? Google Analytics gives you, well, there's other analytics programs out there. Google Analytics is free. So it's a good place to start for analytics. What analytics does is it gives you a baseline of what your website's doing. How's it doing in the search engines? Okay. When you look at a website and you're trying to figure out, am I doing the right things, and you don't have a way to track data, then you don't really have a way to track and determine what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. Okay, so you want to be able to come in here and say, well, I've had 100 or 1,300 sessions, 902 different people have looked at it. They've looked at it 3,600 times, different pages on the site over the last 30 days. And then there's lots of other information you can come in and find out. And this isn't a Google Analytics class. What I'm really here to say is you want to have some type of analytics plugged into your site to get a baseline of what your site's doing in the search engines, how people are coming to your site, why are they getting there, how are they getting there, are they referred in from some link that's on somebody else's website, what path are they taking through your website, what pages are they leaving on. So it gives you a wealth of information, tells you, are they coming from mobile phones, are they coming from different browsers? Like, there's lots and lots of information that Google Analytics can give you to give you insight into how your website's performing for the visitors that come across it. So that's one of the big things that you want to see. You want to make sure that's plugged into your site is Google Analytics. So that covers all that I'm really going to talk about with Google Analytics. It's very simple to plug in. You just go into Google Analytics, set up an account if you don't have it, and then they spit out some code at you that looks something like this. It'll look something like this, and then that gets plugged into your website, and it may be you have to have your developer plug it in if you don't know how to, or it's relatively easy in some cases to plug it in yourself. It really depends on the website that you have. So that's as much as I'll say about Google Analytics. Well, actually, I'll say one more thing. If you set it up and you have, you can put it in to give you a report on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. Hey, here's the last 30-day snapshot. You can actually give other people access to your analytics so they can help you with diagnosing what's going on, uh, things like that. So there's a lot of power in using Google Analytics. There's also another tool called Webmaster Tools, Google Webmaster Tools, which gives you a different set of insights about your website. Um, and I recommend that if you're not using Webmaster Tools, that you actually check into doing Webmaster Tools for your website as well. Um, it will help you with looking at your website. And if you don't do any of that, backing up, doing the basics of the title, the URL, the headline, and content in your page. So to take Torion to another level, Tom and Debbie, what I would do is I'd come back in here and I'd add a paragraph about homes for sale on Torion. Where is Torion? Where is it in relation to Sholo? That kind of, who are the builders that built the homes there? How many houses are in the subdivision of Torion? What's the major appeal of Torion? What's that's something you want to fill your website out with, that kind of content, because it is relevant to Torion and it is useful information to what your home searcher is going to be looking for if they're looking at living in Torion. Okay, so for anybody out there, for any of you who have sites, again, homes for sale, Sholo homes for sale, have a paragraph about Sholo, something. Every time you guys add a new page onto your site, you want to make sure that you at least put some written content in there in addition to what's in there from the IDX, if that's what you're using to plug content in. So for our stuff, we have some paragraphs here, but we also have a whole lot of other content in here built in by the IDX that we've got plugged in. Okay, so the great thing about WordPress, I'm going to jump into a site really quick. So there's a lot of bad rap about WordPress out there. It's really a great program for letting you control your destiny. So if I go into add new, I'm going to add a new post. And I just want to do, let's say, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk. That's going to be my post, okay? So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to put my content in here, Greyhawk. There. So that's what this could be a paragraph or two. There is, a lot of people ask the question, well, how much content is enough? The old rules were about 300 words. You want to make sure you get at least 300 to 350 words in a page to at least meet some of the minimums of being the best optimized you can. The great thing about having an indexable IDX is all of these words count in your content mix, okay? In addition to what is published in here. So you're going to want to have 350 words, 600 words, or, the more the better. But is it okay to do something like this where you only put in a few words? Of course it is. You just may not have this page rank as high as some other pages, but this will still rank if you're active in your website, okay? Because I'm also going to drop in a quick IDX search. And again, this is from our tool in the areas that we service, but this is how quickly you can do things. Residential active, and I'm going to drop into, well, let's do that again. There it is. And I want to do Scottsdale, and I'm going to do Greyhawk. And that's all I'm actually going to put in here. Oh, I did say 4 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms, and I'm going to do 4 bedrooms and up. And I'm just going to drop this in, and I'm going to assign this to a category, homes in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm going to publish it. So there are other things I can do from a search engine perspective. I'm not going to take the time, but notice what I've got here. Here's my title for this page. Here's my URL for this page. Okay, I've now put in 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk. Okay, I've got congruency with everything I've done here. Let's go look at what this page looks like on my website. So I've got my title, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk, 4-bedroom homes in Greyhawk. And when I scroll down the page, bedrooms 4, Greyhawk. Okay. If you think about it, this took me about a minute or less to plug this into my website. Okay. Didn't take me very long. That's the way we've designed our system, to allow you to plug content in that's relevant to what your readers are looking for, what home searchers are looking for, and it doesn't take a lot of your time to do this. I mean, I literally did that in, let's say, call it 2 minutes. What we've been told by our clients is they can do stuff on their website quicker than they can in the MLS. So that's why we've built this tool, or that's how we've built this tool, is to give you something that you can use with your client while building your search engine presence over time in the areas that you want to focus on. So for you guys up in, for Tom up in Sholo, you guys are going to want to, how many of these can you build out for the areas that you want to dominate? And are you using this with your clients? If not, in our opinion, you're missing the boat, because that'll help you get people to your website, which will help with your marketing. The more people that are bouncing around your website will help you with your search engine optimization, your visibility in the search engines, etc. If you have a website where you can't control this stuff, and a lot of the company-driven websites, it's time to get a new website, in our opinion. And that is about all I have for today's webinar. We are running a special. If you go to our website, I Found Agent, and we have designs here. Anything that's this row or this one are a premium theme, and we sell those are closer to $900 to $1,000, $1,100. These guys here, we set them up. If I hear from you guys today or tomorrow, these are selling for $499 on a setup, and then $69 a month for our hosting, IDX, and support. So we have normally our monthly is $79, but because of the call and being on the call today, if I hear from you and get scheduled for a demo, if you want to look at it more, $499 for these basic sites. These are more expensive. The design on these are more. They take more time for us to put them together, so hence the difference. And we have a lot of folks buying these top 4 sites, and then we do have some folks that are still buying these sites. These are more of our older sites, and these are some of our newer designs. So I'm going to pass it back to you all for any questions. Anybody have any questions? My name, again, is Dale Stauffer, and I'm going to type a note. That's how to reach me if you have any questions after the call. But I haven't seen any questions come in from you guys, so I'm going to actually end the webinar here. I thank you very much. We will be following up with you after the webinar today, and I thank you very much for your time, and I hope this was worth your time and it provided some value to you. Thank you.